$70 for Armaf's new Club de Nuit Intense Overdose. Before you pull out your wallet, let's talk. And the name makes it sound like it's just a stronger Club de Nuit Intense man. But that's not what's going on here. Today we're going to talk about what's changed, who this is for, and whether it's worth your hard-earned money. So let's get into it. And we'll just briefly touch on the presentation. If you look at the side of the box and the bottle, you'll see the name initials JA, and that's for John Abraham, who is apparently a Bollywood actor who worked in collaboration with Armaf on this. And we need to give Armaf some credit here because I feel like they've done a really nice job on this bottle. As you can see, you have this smoked gray bottle with the maroon accents, also the JA on the back. And I do think this is probably one of the nicest looking bottles in the line now, so. Oh, and one minor complaint I have, because it's an all black bottle, they also have a black atomizer here, and so you can't really tell which direction it's pointed when you go to spray it unless you look real close. So that's kind of just a minor thing. But now let's talk about what they've changed. So if you've ever worn the original Club de Nuit Intense man, and I'm not talking about this version, this is the Extrait version, I'm talking about earlier versions, then you already know what the number one thing people complained about. It's that opening. And some called it smoky, some said it smelled like furniture polish, others said toilet cleaner. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't all that great. And we're just going to go ahead and put this one on skin. And this one is really nice. So basically Armaf has taken this one in a different direction. There's no smoke, there's no harsh birch. With this one, you just get this really nice, well-rounded, like pineapple and plum and tangerine thing going on. It's done really well. And in the dry down, I think, is where the biggest improvement comes. Instead of coming off like dry and smoky, this one is more like creamy, sweet vanilla. It's just very smooth and very easy to wear. So it does still have the Aventus DNA, but it's less harsh and much more smoothed out. And let's take a look at the note card. This smells like blue raspberry candy for about 5 seconds. Then suddenly it remembers it's supposed to be a fragrance. Pineapple and tangerine up top, plum and spice in the middle, and it lands on this smooth vanilla tonka leather thing. Now let's talk about the weirdest note in this fragrance. And you might have seen it on the note card, blue crystals. When I saw that, I thought to myself, wait, didn't the original have blue crystals too? Wrong blue crystals, I guess. Anyways, it's just a marketing gimmick, just like the white powder that you probably also saw on the note card. But when you put it all together, blue crystals, white powder, the name is Intense Overdose. Who's signing off on things over there? And now let's talk about where this slots in the Club de Nuit lineup. And that's why these two bottles are also here. So Overdose sits somewhere between Intense Man Extrait and Club de Nuit Precieux 1. So basically what they've done is they've taken the base of this, which is sort of the Creed Aventus DNA, but they've stripped away the smoky birch aspect of it. But then they've added like the sweet, dark, fruity aspect of this to create this. So what you get is a sexy nighttime going out fragrance that's pretty much a hybrid of these two. However, and it kind of slots right between them. However, I would say that I do believe that in the far dry down, it's much closer to Intense Man Extrait, so I think they got the naming right, calling it Intense Overdose. I mean, as opposed to like Precieux 2 or something like that. And the performance on this is outstanding. It's an extrait concentration, so you're basically gonna be getting 30% oil concentration, which is about the maximum percent you can get. And because of that, this stuff is pretty potent. It'll last 12 plus hours on skin, and it'll project an arm's length away for the first 3 hours or so. So I would say with this one, be careful not to overspray it or you will set off fire alarms. All right, let's talk guap. That's what kids call money these days. I'm never saying that again. And this is where things get interesting because this goes for about $70. That's double the original. So the question is this twice as good? And I'm gonna say no, but I do think it's noticeably better than the last version we got. And I'll say it's better opening, better dry down, better presentation. I think it's smoother. I think it's more versatile and easier to wear. But twice as good? I don't think so. But also keep in mind that this is $70 for a 100 ml bottle. And with Precieux here, we were already paying an average of $45 for a 55 ml bottle. So Overdose is averaging 70 cents per milliliter, while Club de Nuit Precieux 1 is averaging 82 cents per milliliter. So by my count, this is the 7th iteration in the Intense Man lineup. And each fragrance keeps getting better and more refined than the last. And it makes me wonder, so is Armaf getting better at making fragrances, or could they have made this the whole time and they just keep slowly rolling out improvements? I honestly don't know. And here's another thought I had. Armaf is starting to remind me of Apple. Each year they release a slightly improved version, and somehow we keep convincing ourselves that every year we need to upgrade. But here's the scary part. Since they've already released 7 iterations, who's to say they're not going to be releasing an 8th version next year? Knowing Armaf, I wouldn't bet against it. So who is this fragrance actually for? Well, if this is your first Club de Nuit fragrance, if you've never owned one of the other 6, I would go straight to this one, because in my opinion, this is the best version they've released yet. But if you own one of the other 6 versions, especially if you're happy with it, I wouldn't throw it away to buy this. Use it, enjoy it, finish the bottle, and when it's time to replace it, this is the one I'd recommend. That's probably the advice I'd give to most people. But if you're a fragrance nerd like me, who likes to try every new release that comes out, go ahead and get this. I don't think you'll be disappointed. But then again, who are we kidding? If you've been watching this entire video all about one fragrance, you've probably got this in your cart already anyways. So those are my thoughts on the new Club de Nuit Intense Overdose. So hopefully if you were unsure about this one or on the fence, hopefully this video helped you decide. So my question for you is $70 too much for a cologne fragrance? Or does the quality here justify the price? So are you picking this one up, or waiting for Armaf to release the Club de Nuit Intense Overdose Pro Max? And I want to leave you with a quote from the illustrious Marshawn Lynch. Take care of y'all mentals, y'all bodies, and y'all chickens. See you next time.